guys, it's Lisa from A Bag Lady Journals. Today for Friday Flip Through, I wanted to share with you my coffee calendar journal. And also this journal that is also from a calendar. It's not completed yet. I just wanted to show you, I guess, a little bit about how I put this one together. You can kind of see with this, for example, in case you haven't made one. And it's hard at the end of the year because you're thinking, oh, I love these images. I can't bear to, or when you're starting the new year, you can't bear to get rid of this calendar that you've really enjoyed all year. So, for me personally, I have to really love the calendar. Otherwise, off it goes to recycle. In any case, this is the bottom half of the calendar. And for example, this would be the top half. And so I simply tear these pages into their, where they're creased, where they connect. Tear them apart, and so then you have your bottom and your top as separate pages, and fold them in half and start putting them together. And of course you're going to have pages that are the numbers, which doesn't bother me at all. I mean, you can cover these up, as you'll see that I've done in my coffee journal. Also, you can insert them upside down, and for some people, and I find myself that you don't really sort of pay attention to the numbers as much when they're upside down, so it's not so bothersome. And I just wanted to show you that sort of how I kind of put these together. Isn't that sweet? I think this was the January, and this was a 2024 calendar. This was the January image. I mean, all I had to do was love this image, and I fell in love with this image, and I bought the calendar. It was like, I don't even need to see the rest of it, but it is actually really pretty, really, really pretty. And it's got, like, look, the old typewriter. And actually, I think these two pages go nice together. So I'm going to enjoy that as a 2026 journal, I believe. And I'll have some fun putting those pages and organizing them together. And then finding complementary type of things to add, whether it's, color, or it could be, painty papers, all kinds of things, washi tape. So you name it. That's going to be a fun one. If I do finish it, I will do a flip through that next year. So let's take a look at the coffee calendar. I love coffee, and so I had fun with this. The images are really kind of nostalgic. They actually even look like coffee's been spilt on them, which I really enjoyed. Sort of it's got kind of a grungy feel. And I'll just show you this little clip at the front is actually an envelope. I made this along with Janet Nash. She has such a sweet channel if you watch hers. And so it's just a question of folding it in, taking this piece of paper and folding it in. I have a little note to myself in there, and I just keep it on the cover. It's cute. Some rustic string just to hold the signatures in. I did sew the actual papers together, but then I just strung them into the journal itself. And this was a clothing tag, and I just added the coffee themed washi tape to cover the writing, and so that's kind of fun. Okay, let's take a little look. It's really a combination of stickers, papers, so a little bit of collage, lots and lots of doodling, some magazine images, give me coffee or else. Sometimes I would just embellish the pages to create my own little quotes, coffee quotes. So yeah, I found this very relaxing, and it was something that I would just spend maybe 15 minutes in the morning, or maybe even just 10 minutes in the morning, and just adding a couple of things here and there. So it wasn't time consuming, it was very relaxing. And again, because I loved the calendar the way it was, it's just easy to work with when you really enjoy the images. What did I write here? It's going to be a bright coffee day. Yeah. I believe this was February image on the original calendar, and so I sort of kept the pinky tones here. Love that. Oh, I drew one of my favorite cakes, strawberry shortcake. Goes well with coffee. I did a little drawing like I'm sharing that with someone, but truth is I would just eat the whole thing myself. I'm not even kidding. I just love a page with hearts. Hand-drawn hearts are just endearing. I don't think you need to buy heart stickers. This is some paper I added. It's a coffee newsletter that they have at the coffee shop, and it's free. You just grab it, I always put it in my purse. Here's some packaging. I just thought that was such a pretty image. I wanted to include that. It's a little French coffee image. And I weaved this rickrack through hole punches. Just punched some holes and weaved it through, which I thought turned out really pretty. Oops. Yeah, and I also used crayons, good old crayons. Here's a little couch. Here's a little couch and space that I would love to just sit and have coffee with a friend. Isn't that pretty? I put that little sticky note on the coffee machine for my daughter when she was staying. I knew she was going to be up really early, so I thought, oh, I'll just get it all ready and she can. And so those little kind of notes I like to keep. It's a little fabric ruffle. It's pretty soft. I hope I'm completely in frame here. It's kind of hard to see. Freshly brewed. Again, a heart page. I love that. A coffee sticker. Love that collection of coffee cups. Life happens. Coffee helps. Put some stamps. Like this is some coffee packaging. Some stuff inside. Just sounds nice. This was a coffee they gave it to me at, they were handing it out at the liquor store. I bought some wine and they're like, here, take some coffee. It was really good too. Some quotes from Alice in Wonderland that I just added. It would have been all the better, as it seemed to Alice, if she had got someone else to dress her. She was so dreadfully untidy. Seems like Alice needed a cup of coffee to get her going so she could get dressed. I like my coffee like my birds, black. Here's a little crow. Iced macchiato. I think this was the first time I had an iced macchiato. I honestly lived without, I'd never had one, which even the barista was like, are you sure you've never tasted one? I was like, I'm serious, but I think I'm going to treat myself to it. It was really hot out and it was in the July, and it was so delicious. Yeah, it was like dessert, but it was worth every calorie. Coffee is the reason I appear to be smiling. Got this little doodle of coffee cups. I love brownies with coffee. There's some brownie there waiting. And the back of the calendar has, the back piece of the calendar, which you cut off to make this cover, has all the little tiny images of each month, so that when you go to buy it, of course, you're looking at it, they show you all the images. So I cut those into their little squares, and it's kind of fun to just add those to the calendar as well. Why not? Like that. Dark chocolate mocha latte, delicious. Belly bands. I bought a new drip coffee machine, $7.25. I did, and I've been enjoying it. I thought I'd make this cup extra happy. Okay. Festive spices: cinnamon, nutmeg, cloves, orange, mint. Gingerbread coffee drip, eggnog latte, peppermint cappuccino. Have them all, but not all at once. I think I put down here, it's fuel for shopping, Christmas shopping. More of the coffee news pages, which I just slipped in. And they're just fun they take paint really well, and alcohol markers don't bleed through. So they're fun to doodle. Love this image. Look at that. I want those bracelets. Another little cozy coffee nook. I had to draw the coffee cups on there though, of course, because they weren't on there. You miss 100% of the espresso shots you don't take. I loved that. I had bought a coffee somewhere, and this is the sleeve. And I thought, I've got to put that in my coffee journal. I have to. This is actually a drawing of a mug that I own, and it's got the crow on it. I have a lot of crow things, I realized. A little gift tag from last Christmas. I had to include that. Some stickers. Crayon. Ooh, Hawaiian coffee packaging. It's so pretty. think there's some other things in here, but I don't need to take them out. You know, sometimes it feels good to get the crayons out and just scribble. I know that probably sounds childish, but hey, don't knock it till you try it. It is very freeing, very relaxing. It sort of gets out some tension somehow. Belly band. Again, that's from the back of the calendar. So just reusing what would have been recycled. So that works out well. Coffee. I like this little crow sticker. So cute. Good. Some things in here. I've used this as like a little envelope at the back. Some extra pieces I didn't end up using. And that is my coffee journal made from a calendar. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and I wanted to mention that, and I wanted to thank Gwen the Trash Witch. She hosts the Friday Flip Throughs and does a wonderful job of keeping in touch with everyone and getting us all to, we get to know each other a little bit because she puts links. So if you want to find more journalers that do flip throughs, certainly go to Gwen's channel because she does a really good job of sort of keeping track of everybody and putting links in her description so you can easily find other journalers who have a passion for recycling paper and making journals out of things that would have gone in the garbage. Thanks again for joining me today. Have a good one, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.